I'm R.A. Schwartz, along with my co-hosts Gabe Ibrahim and Rachel Galligan, and welcome to the Winsidr Show, where it's all about the W. Today we have a special episode for you, considering the fact that it's Winsidr's birthday. If you like our show, please consider joining our Patreon community. For less than a cup of coffee a month, you can directly show support for the hard work we do covering the W. Happy birthday, guys! How you doing?
Happy birthday!
I
Yay!
almost started singing, and then I realized we'd probably lose followers.
Yeah, no, let's not sing. Well, let's sing at the end.
That's how we'll end this
Yeah.
episode, with a sing-along happy birthday. 4 years ago today, on a serious note, guys,
Yeah.
4 years ago today, February 21st, 2016, I started Winsidr, or at the time, WNBA Insider. But to understand, you have to go back a few years further back. 10 years before that, I was living in Minnesota and heard about this great player, Simone Augustus, being drafted by the Minnesota Lynx. I took my sisters to a game, and we both saw one Simone crossover, and we were hooked. You jump forward a few years, and I had moved to DC, and while Minnesota and a few other W markets have a good amount of coverage, we all know that the WNBA lacks coverage. We knew what a backup NFL player from 2 years ago ate each day during the season and during the offseason, but we can't find in-depth stats on Diana Taurasi. But I realized it was beyond that the style of coverage this league was getting was feel-good coverage and not actual analysis. Why is this player struggling? What is this team doing that just doesn't work and hasn't been good this year? Why was this team good last year but not this year? Why can't this team shut down this player? It started as a Twitter account, and it grew to a website and a podcast. And now I'd like to think into a real name when you're talking about the WNBA. I'm beyond happy with our growth, and I truly think we have become leaders in changing the style of coverage to which we see every other pro sports league get. I'm super happy to have the Winsidr family with us to talk about this on the pod, and I'm ridiculously proud of what we've been able to accomplish to this date, but we know that we'll accomplish more. But Gabe, why don't you talk to us a little bit about your Winsidr story?
Well, Winsidr for me has been an incredible experience. You know, I'm a lawyer. I think people know that. I say it a lot, as every lawyer does. But
Do you CrossFit
you know, I was,
also?
huh? No, I don't CrossFit. Are you out of your mind? Jesus, no. No, but yeah, you know, I'm a lawyer, and I've always been a huge sports fan. I was a broadcast journalism major in college, and I started watching the WNBA in college and got really into it in law school. And then when I moved to DC, I got to watch really, really amazing basketball. So I was looking for somewhere to kind of, outlet my thoughts, because, it's kind of hard to find a good community of WNBA fans when you have no idea, what's going on in the sports, media world. Like you were saying, there's still a huge dearth of coverage, but I found Winsidr. Then I decided that I wanted to start writing about sports because I was super depressed at my law job. And I needed some sort of way to outlet all these thoughts that I was now having about the WNBA. And then I met up with Aryeh at a bar in DC, and we became instant friends. And, now to me, Winsidr is a lot more about the people that I'm working with, more so than the things that I'm saying, because I don't know, we have a really nice family. We got a really nice thing going on. And I think we're a part of, a really good group of independent WNBA outlets that, make this sport really, really fun to follow and really interesting to follow from that perspective right now. Because, we're kind of all just doing it on our own, figuring it out on our own, and being ourselves in a very genuine way. So, at some point, the WNBA will be big enough that we're going to have more standardized coverage from bigger outlets like you're used to in the rest of sports. But for now, it is so much fun to be a part of this community, and specifically this Winsidr family. And I'm just really happy that I got to be a part of it.
Before I let Rachel go and tell her little story, my side of the story of first meeting Gabe was kind of like a blind date on one of the dating apps where I had to text multiple friends. If I don't text you back, it's because this guy is kidnapped me or possibly killed me, because it was so out of the blue. It wasn't like during when we were doing one of our casting calls for staff. So I was really worried that there was just some random person who hated the WNBA so much that they were going to track me down and kill me. Yeah. So, Rachel,
but we had some great tater tots. We did.
If anybody needs good tots in DC, we'll tell you where to go. But you have to be a Patreon subscriber for that. Rachel, tell us your Winsidr story.
You know, it's crazy because it was like one day Gabe just like appeared out of nowhere. And I was like, you kept talking about Gabe, and I was like, wait, who's Gabe? And all of a sudden, he's just this fantastic addition to Winsidr. It's just it's been really fun. I'm really happy to have you with us, Gabe, and REA. I mean, people know. I mean, if anyone listens to our show, I think people understand our relationship and our dynamic. I'm not sure if people understand kind of how I got started, but I think it was, summer of 2017, 18. I don't know. All the years seem to blend together. And I was just getting into the media world. I was doing some writing with Hero Sports. I was writing for a few other outlets at the time. And I was contacted by a couple of guys running this Winsidr Twitter account. And I didn't quite understand what was going on. And they were talking about a show and talking about their vision for it. And I really was kind of impressed as someone who played professionally, as someone who's coached collegiately, and I have been in all facets of women's basketball. Just the passion that Arya you have for this, and the team at the time was just so excited about really just giving the WNBA the coverage that it deserves. You know, and like I said, I mean, I grew up a huge WNBA fan and have a lot of connections within the league, which I know doesn't surprise anybody after the last couple of weeks. But,
Heyo.
I'm just a
humble brag.
Humble brag, but I mean,
Was it
it's
humble?
reality. It's just reality as someone very entrenched in the women's basketball world. So it just felt like a really good fit, and obviously your vision and my vision are very much in line, even though I don't agree with you 50% of the time on your takes. But no, it's just been fun, and it's kind of evolved into the show aspect for me is my favorite part, and I'm not good at much else other than talking, so it gives me a chance.
That's not true.
Get behind the mic and start rambling about the sport that I love. So no, it's just been fantastic to watch it grow these last few years, and I think if you can get a team together of people who all bring a different strength to the table, you can create something that's pretty incredible. And like you said, Gabe, it's all about who you work with and who you're spending your time with, and you have a lot of fun when you all really see eye to eye and just have a great time together. So happy birthday to Winsidr.
Yeah,
and I had a question.
Yeah, no, go for it.
No, I was gonna ask. It's one of the things that I'm always interested in because I'm kind of the newest person here. Let's shout out some of our alumni, because we have a lot of people who I don't think many people know that have written for Winsidr, have cut their chops here before moving on to some other things. And I think we should give them a shout out on the birthday pod.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I was about to shout one out and say, back when I first met Rachel, Eli Horowitz, who's now head of PR and communications for the three-time world champion Los Angeles Sparks, not defending. And Eli and I were on the pod. Shout out to Eli. Met him through mutual friends, and I happened to see this guy constantly tweeting about the W. And then mutual friends were like, you guys need to talk because you're the only people we've ever heard of or met who just constantly talk about the W. We became tight. He came on the show, became a co-host with me, and really joined the crew. And Eli, I remember one day, messaged me as we were trying to get a staff together for the coming season. And he goes, you gotta call this girl. You gotta talk to her. She's amazing. She knows basketball and she's well respected. And we had both been talking about finding someone who basically fit Rachel's description right there. And I remember talking to Rachel and just being like, I think you came on the pod first. And we were just like, wow, she would fit in with us quite well.
Guest. I forgot about that. Yeah. And then
yes.
it evolved into Eli took the job, and then we kind of became the co-host of the show. It's kind of cool to see where it has evolved to. But I agree, Gabe. I think it's cool. We should shout out some of the alumni, but also some of the guests we've had on. We've had some phenomenal people on the show.
Oh yeah, well, let's see. We've had James Wade, Brian Agler. We've had who?
Shea Serrano.
Oh yeah, Shea Serrano. We had him on the pod. We've had.
Wait, when did you guys do that?
Are you serious?
Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
That was. I knew we did something right. I had no idea who he was, but then I had friends who have never covered or never heard of the WNBA contacting me, being like, "Oh my God, you had Shea on the show," and I was like, "Yeah, is that a big deal?" We've had Renee Montgomery on the show. We've had Stephanie Dolson. We've had Kayla Thornton. We've had. Do we have Quigley on the show? I think we had Quigley on the show.
Kelsey Plum, Jonquil Jones. Yeah, it's been a lot. We've had some.
Jasmine Thomas, Jewel Lloyd. I'm trying to think. I mean, we've had a ton of guests on this show.
Mike Tebow.
Oh yeah, recently. Most recently Mike Tebow. That was great. We've had Katie Smith on the show. I mean, our goal is always to get a wide variety of people. Hey, we had Jewel Lloyd's mom and aunt on the show.
That was a classic.
that was an epic episode. At some point we got to get Jewel's dad on the show because we just got to make it, check off the whole family at some point. And also while we're at it, I think I saw that Jewel's mother was having some health issues, so I want to send a prayer out to her. But yeah, let's talk about a few of our alumni. We have Dorothy Gentry, who's been rocking it for the Athletic recently this past season, and rumor has it, or at least it seems based on her work, that she'll be with them again, hopefully. Brady Klopp, as I like to call him, mostly because there's a coach in the league, as you well know, Klopp, and I like the Battle of the Klopps.
We're definitely forgetting people. I'm trying to think of the names, and our apologies to all of them. I blame Gabe for not putting this in our show notes and then just launching that one on us. But Rachel.
I mean, there are, but like being put on the spot. I mean, I think Dorothy is a phenomenal one. I really miss her. She's killing it. She's done such a phenomenal job. Obviously, Eli is doing a fantastic job. Everyone who has gone on or spent time or contributed with Winsidr, it's been fun to kind of see where they've gone. Pat Ralph was really involved for a long time.
Oh yeah, Pat.
Hey Pat. He's very much involved in the golf world and a lot of different avenues from that perspective. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's a ton, and I'm being put on the spot, so my brain is freezing.
That's how I feel. Gotta always shout out to Jasmine Brown, who has now moved on to ESPN. Also, that was an amazing one. Lindsay D'Arcangelo, who is now working for The Athletic. She was then, but now she's covering W for The Athletic, which is amazing. Want to give her a shout out. Yeah, we've had some very talented people come through our door, and very honored and blessed to be able to work with them. We had Matt Ellentuck on the show. Shout out to Matt, good friend of the show, and Ben Dull. Shout out to Ben Dull on the show. So yeah, how about that? Now, real quick, as people typically do when they have a birthday, before we sign off this show, you often like to look back at your favorite moment of the year and a goal for the coming year. So I would say for me, my favorite moment is two specific moments, but I can group it into one, was being able to go to 2 WNBA finals games this year, one in Mohegan Sun, which was on my bucket list of arenas that I've always wanted to attend, and then also be able to go to one in DC was just amazing.
Yeah, and I'd say my favorite moments were similarly the finals games were awesome, but just being, me and Arye were down on the floor right before the cannons of confetti went off for the Mystics championship, and we're standing next to Bradley Beal and John Wall, and I'm still a little bit of a Mystics fan, so I was real excited. And these two guys are going crazy. The whole arena is going nuts. Arye is in like all of the ESPN shots because they're just showing John Wall and Bradley Beal. And then just hanging out after that game and kind of like reveling in it. And and just seeing all of the madness that happened and collecting confetti and taking pictures. It was just an excellent experience hanging out with REA. And then my other favorite moment happened in the finals as well, when I got to hang out with Rachel in person for the first time and do a video stream that came out well. It was a fun time.
Yeah, that's obviously one of mine. Being able to fly out there and get a chance to be in DC and catch one of the finals games was neat. I wasn't able to attend as many games because I live in Denver, which is not conducive for the WNBA, but it is kind of in a centralized part of the country, so I can at least attempt to make some games. But back when I lived in Chicago and Indiana, it was definitely a lot easier to be there in person. So getting out to one was awesome, and obviously getting a chance to meet Gabe and REA, getting a chance to see you. But honestly, some of my favorite moments are just during the games when we are breaking things down, or when things are happening like the Hamby shot, or big time games in the playoffs, and we're all just kind of sitting there hanging out, talking, breaking down the game, laughing. I don't remember what game it was, but we all got on FaceTime and we're just like cracking up and laughing and screaming, and that was just a fun night. Like you said, for me, it's being a part of this group and just enjoying this wonderful game together. That's what I remember the most.
Yeah. Oh, can I bring up one more?
Go for
Remember, it was during the Hamby Heave. I think we did all FaceTime after that, but RA was at like a wedding or something where he could not watch TV. So
yes, I was at a wedding, and you guys. So we're on a group FaceTime because I'm at this wedding that I definitely could not have missed. I'm at a wedding, and Gabe's FaceTiming, but his video is just showing me the TV screen, and Rachel and I are just, like, all of us are just going crazy, and I'm getting the weirdest looks while I'm sitting watching the game at a wedding.
And then I think you missed the Hamby Heave because I was too hyped and I started running around the room, so you did not
yes.
see the shot live.
Yes, you screwed up my initial reaction to it. I was like, why are you going crazy? The game's over. What are you talking about? I have no idea what's going on.
It was one of the craziest things I ever seen, but that was also a great moment this year.
All right, Rachel, I'm putting you on the spot. Make a wish for this coming season.
I wish that the show continues to grow. People continue to see the hard work we're doing. The Patreon continues to grow. The support, not just for the show, but also, for the writers. But I think my biggest wish for Winsidr is that we continue the consistency of the amazing people that we have, continue to add vital pieces that make us better every single year, and just continued growth each and every single year. I want to make Winsidr a household name, and there's nobody out there doing what we do on a consistent basis. There's nothing close to it, and I'm very confident in that. And honestly, I think the sky's the limit, and I'm going to continue to push for that, whatever that's going to take. So it's not a specific wish, but I want to continue to quadruple double. I want to just grow in every facet of everything that we're doing with the best people that I know.
Here. Gabe, you're next.
I have specific goals. So I want 150 Patreon subscribers.
There we go.
By the Olympic break. I want our Twitter to get up to 9,000 followers by the end of the season. And I want us to be exactly what Rachel said, a household name. I want people, when they are thinking about the WNBA, to think about Winsidr and the analysis and the news and everything that we do, because we sincerely love this game and we will continue to love it no matter what happens. But it'd be really nice to have this grow and have a proof of concept to say to people, hey, look, people really care about this sport. People care to it to such an extent that us three, people who just we're people who love this game and are working hard for it, can work hard enough to make something out of an idea that RA had, a few years ago. So that's what I want to see, is for us to be able to say, look, this is real. This is proven. This is why people should invest in this league.
I gotta say, I completely agree with everything you guys just said. So I'm going to throw out something that I just thought of on the spot as something that I would love for us to do more. But I would just like to point out, I agree with you guys so much, and that shows why we've created such a bond and why we've been able to grow Winsidr to what it is today, because we all see the same goal and the same vision for this. The next thing I'd like to do is I'd like to see, and we're hopefully a little, sneak peek, why not? We're going to be bringing, but I want to see more video content regarding the W. Right now, we all know there's a lot of great writing content out there. Winsidr does some great writing content. We obviously have, in my opinion, the best podcast that covers the W in the whole wide world. But I would like to see us and other people do a lot more video content, because I think that's the new frontier that has not been tackled by the people who cover the W. And I think Winsidr can be on the forefront of that, and we plan to be on the forefront of that. Now, as we all said, guys, we're about to sing happy birthday. So 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Okay. We shouldn't do this.
No.
Yeah,
This was a bad idea.
We're done. I'm out.
Happy birthday, Winsidr. And to all our fans, we can't wait to annoy you in new and spectacular ways this season.
Peace out.